Welcome back to episode 25. If you could not tell, I am totally invested in this conversation.
Do you know what what it makes this?
What does it make?
Best day ever.
Best day ever. That's the best.
I have 1,000 of them. That's the best. It is the best.
It's the best.
It's the best, man. I don't even know where we go from there.
So,
we talked about yesterday, the pit of despair.
We talked about the pit of despair, and then we also talked about the different actions people could take to then create hope for themselves.
Yes.
Right. And so when people are experiencing hope, is there a particular like what stage are they in now? Like what's the next level of people who are there?
Well, I mentioned in yesterday's show that people who if you have a little bit of money left over at the end of the month, so your income's here, your expenses are here, there's just a little bit left over, you might feel stuck. And people who feel stuck are in that, can find that pit of despair where it's like, I'm going to be stuck forever. And you'll often hear them say things like, I'll always have a car payment, I'll always have a student loan payment, I'll always have a credit card payment. Or more importantly, they'll say, I'm never going to be able to pay this off, right?
Yep.
And that's the general feeling. There's despair because it feels like a desperate situation that they'll never get out of. So that's why it's a pit of despair.
Gotcha.
As you move up through the ranks of having more money every single month, at the end of the month, we go from being stuck to being secure. And the people who are secure begin to feel hopeful. The people who are stuck feel fear and despair, but the people who are secure begin to feel hopeful. And we mentioned yesterday that hope is the feeling you've got, that the feeling you've got is not permanent.
Yep.
So what they are hopeful for is all of this money that they're saving, that they're putting away, or they're paying down debt, or whatever it may be. They are hopeful that things get better into the future. Over the next couple days, we'll also go through the other stages, but we go stuck, secure, serene, and significant.
Okay.
Right? So stuck, secure, serene, significant. When we're insecure right now, the idea is that they are living right now as if the future days are going to be so much better because of all the money they're able to save.
Sure.
And so first of all, let's stop there. Any questions?
Well, I would, as you're saying this, I'm thinking, I think from the monetary standpoint, I think that's where I am. I do feel secure. I have money left over at the end of the month, and after I pay all my expenses. And as you're saying this, I'm envisioning, really like the two sides, right? There's the money side, and then there's also the feeling or experience side.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So yeah, in terms of questions, no, I think I'm thinking with you.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
So those who are secure generally have no problem meeting their monthly obligations. They're putting a little bit away every single month. They feel good about that. The challenge is, Nick, someone that gets to this point of being secure sometimes is maybe doing what seems like the right thing, but in the end, it's kind of it's a move that might keep them stuck where they are. It will keep them in security, but will never get them to serenity.
Gotcha.
So what I mean by that is, I've met people who are secure. They pay all their bills. There's actually more than a little bit left over every month. The money goes into a savings account every single month, which, let's face it, that's what we've been told to do.
Yep.
And yet they're never really investing for the future to get the kind of return that they could probably get. So they're saving for saving's sake, but they're not really saving for the future or for their future selves.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay, so if they're in that position, what would you say that they're in?
They are, if they're not in it, they're approaching a pit of complacency.
Complacency.
Yep. So we have the pit of despair that we get out of, and now we're feeling hopeful, but then we get into the pit of complacency.
Okay.
And the pit of complacency is this spot where you're like, no, it's good. I'm fine. Everything's fine. And because it's fine, and you can afford the emergencies that might crop up, you're not doing any of the other kind of work that you might need to be doing. And there may be listeners to this show or this episode where you feel like you're doing a lot with your money, or you're doing everything you think to know to do with your money, but there's still 3 or 4 things that you could probably do to really ramp up your ability to build wealth and create freedom for yourself. And that ultimately is what we're trying to do, is figure out for people that are in that secure standpoint,
Yep.
how do we get you into serene?
And so describe serene for me, because when I see serene, it's definitely, I can see it that it's above secure. Like secure, I'm kind of like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah.
And then serene, it's like, I'm good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the difference between the two, this is a really valid question and an important distinction. Someone who is secure, and actually let me take a step back.
Sure.
If we were to define wealth as how many months could you live currently if your current income stopped tomorrow?
Okay.
People who are secure would have maybe 1 or 2, maybe 6 months worth of income that would keep them in the same lifestyle. People who are serene might have several years worth of income.
Got it. Okay.
Right? So it might be not 6 months, but 6 years or 3 years or 10 years worth of income that would keep them going if their current income stopped tomorrow.
Gotcha. Okay, so now that makes sense, because when you talk about the pit of complacency, it's, if the income stopped for 6 years and they would still be fine, oh yeah, it's like, don't really need to do anything. I'm complacent with where I am. Okay.
Yep.
That makes sense. Okay.
Yep. So that pit of complacency we really want to get out of, because on the other side of that is something that's quite amazing, and that's freedom. Like the people who have serenity are experiencing a level of freedom with money that other people can't imagine. And so our goal on the Mastery podcast and on masteryofmoney.com is to help you achieve all of these, to get to secure, to get to serenity, to get to significance, just by following some of the stuff that we talk about on the show.
Beautiful.
Yeah. What other questions can I answer?
Let me see. So in terms of, you kind of talked about freedom a little bit. What are some aspects of freedom? Like, I know freedom can look differently for everyone, but as our listeners, explorers are, they could be anywhere along this journey.
Yes.
But for those who may be in a pit of complacency where everything really is fine, and they could continue living their lives the way that they are living, that's great. But for someone who wants to get there, are there certain things that you could do to, achieve the next rung of the ladder?
Well, certainly what they're doing now, educating themselves, taking action, finding people who are living the way that you want to be living and emulating what they're doing.
Yep.
That would be one way. We have an episode, and I don't recall which one it is, but it's around passive income. So it could be looking for other passive income opportunities.
Okay.
So that when you're engaging in those passive income opportunities, or your money is, that it's generating income all the way along.
Yeah.
So those who are secure, one of the goals should be to figure out how can you get your money working for you even harder.
Okay.
And I call that employing your money. So if you are employed and you're making money, how do you then employ your money to make money?
Beautiful.
And that's going to be learning a whole lot about investments and passive income and all the things we'll talk about.
Yeah. Awesome. Good stuff. Well, I'm excited for the next conversation.
It will be fun.
Yeah. Any teaser for the next one? Ready to wear a vest?
It won't be the best day ever.
Okay.
And I don't know how invested you're going to be. I can't think. We may be shooting it from a vestibule. How about that?
What's that?
I'll tell you tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Bye, everybody.
See ya.